You are listening to the Keep the Weight Off podcast with Dr. Angela, episode number 49.
Welcome to the Keep the Weight Off podcast, where we bust all the dieting myths and discover not just how to lose weight, but more importantly, how to keep it off. We go way beyond the food, and we use science and psychology to give you strategies that work. And now your host, Dr. Angela Zechmann.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our first podcast for 2022.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yay. For me,
it's 2022 already.
I know.
I don't know. It's a good number, 2022.
Yeah, let's hope so. It's so funny because for me, it always takes me like a month. I'm writing like the old year for a month on all my prescriptions and everything I have to date. I'm writing. So I'll be writing 2021 till February.
Oh, I think we all do that.
It's not just me.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. Before I get started today, I have a request for each one of our listeners. If you're getting value from these podcasts, would you please take just a moment of your time, if you haven't already done it, and go to iTunes and rate and review this podcast? It takes just a moment, and it will really help other people find this podcast and all the valuable information we have. There's so much BS in the world of weight loss, and I just want people to have the education and support they need so that they can live vibrant, healthy lives. If you can do your part to help others find this, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, let's get that information out, you guys, because this is really good stuff. If I would have known this information 20 years ago, my whole life would have been different.
Yeah, think about the young people. Oh,
right.
Yeah. All right. So last week, we talked a little bit about the goal setting process. This week, I wanted to talk a little bit more about our brains and how they work. This is really interesting. What I'm about to teach you is work that most of us need to do because we all have human brains. And it's something that we see often when people are in the midst of a weight loss journey, and something that I'm working on managing myself in my own thinking. So here's what happens. Almost all of us have this tendency for all or nothing thinking. So what I mean by this is that we think that things have to be one way or another. That's a normal human brain that does this. So think about it from an evolutionary perspective. We survived because we made quick judgments about whether something was dangerous or safe, friend or foe. So our brains are hardwired to make these quick assessments, yes or no, good or bad, friend or foe. It's either all good or all bad. And these types of quick assessments kept us alive, at least long enough to reproduce and perpetuate our species, right? So
yeah, that's exactly how my brain thinks.
Yeah.
And our brains all one way or the other. And there's usually no middle ground.
Exactly. And our brains like to think like this. And the reason is because when we think like this, there's no cognitive dissonance. Have you ever heard that word?
I've heard it in a song.
In a song?
Yes.
What song?
I think it is a Nirvana song.
A Nirvana song. Okay, great. Well, I actually looked up the definition for cognitive dissonance. And what it is, it's this psychological stress that we feel when we're trying to hold conflicting beliefs or values or attitudes. So when our brains perceive things as either or, there's much less psychological stress because there's no cognitive dissonance. There's no tension. We can just relax into the knowledge that we're right and they're wrong. And, you see this all over social media all the time, right?
Definitely.
All those divisive posts on Facebook and Instagram. Oh.
Yeah, it's caused a lot of problems, I think, between people and communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you pay attention, you might notice this in your own life and in the meaning that you make of things that happen. So, for example, without even really realizing it, you might categorize and judge people. You might think this person is a good person and this person is a bad person. And you may find yourself even doing that with yourself. I'm a good person or I'm a bad person. Okay? So just be aware of this, because in the real world, things are never either one way or another way. It's not good or bad. It's actually good and bad. Especially when it comes to human beings and our behavior, we're all of it. We're good and bad. We're competent and incompetent. We're generous and selfish. We can be motivated and we can be lazy. So understanding this is really important in the weight loss journey, because we've set some goals and we have some ideas about where we're going. And our brains want us to be perfect at this. Our brains are going to have this tendency to tell us that if we're not perfect, we're failing. It's either one way or the other. We're either doing this right or we're not. Is that making sense?
It definitely makes sense. I've done this to myself. Like at first, I mean, I've worked pretty hard on seeing things more well balanced, but I think that we have like these super high standards because we try to compare ourselves to other people.
That too.
In reality, we don't realize that other people are just like us.
Yeah.
So the more that I've communicated with other people in my weight loss journey, the more I realize that, yeah, there's a lot more to it than just right or wrong.
Yeah. So, well, think about what I've noticed over the years. I see this happening all the time when people are on their weight loss journey. People will come in and they'll have these perfect food journals for months and months at a time. And these are the people that I really worry about, because I know what's going on in their brains. They're thinking, look, I'm doing this right. I can show you this perfect food journal. I'm good. I'm eating perfectly. I'm losing weight. It's all handled. There's no cognitive dissonance in someone like this, at least not at that point in time. But then something happens and they experience some sort of failure. Maybe they splurged on a vacation. Maybe they got sick. Maybe they had to work overtime for a month or two to make a work deadline. Maybe someone in their family got injured or sick. They stop journaling for a while. They start eating more quick convenience foods. They get off track. And their brains can't handle the cognitive dissonance. Their brains are saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm good, but this isn't good behavior. This doesn't make sense. I can't be good and behave badly. I must be bad. I'm bad. I've failed. I've give up. I'm a failure and I'm not going to try anymore. How often do we see this, Marchelle?
Yeah, I would have to say, I think that there's also this thing where we have a default personality. And what I've seen for myself is that if you don't change your core beliefs, then you can go for a little while trying to be perfect. And then at some point you default back to your default personality characteristics. Yeah. And so, like I said, there's a lot more to this, guys, than just eating perfect and having a perfect food journal. I'm sure she'll get into that later. But I've seen this happen quite a bit with those perfect food journals.
Yeah.
One little thing goes wrong and then it's, then we don't see them for a little while.
Yeah.
And that's, that's too bad.
Yeah. Well, this tendency of our brains to want to indulge in all or none thinking can really sabotage our weight loss journeys. So to overcome this tendency in our own brains, I'd like to offer this thought. What if it's okay if our journey's a little bit messy? What if our journey can be filled with success and failure? What if we can be good at times and bad at times and still reach our ultimate goal of thriving in a healthy, vibrant body that we're proud of? So I want to offer this up as a challenge for you to look at when you're evaluating your own thinking. all or nothing statements will definitely keep us from feeling that uncomfortable cognitive dissonance. And so there's an indulgent comfort in it, but it also leaves us with not having to think critically and discover patterns that might be sabotaging our ultimate success. So imagine this. What if we can hold the truth of both being true at the same time? We can be successful and we can fail. We can be good and we can be bad. And we become willing to tolerate the discomfort of that cognitive dissonance that occurs as a result. What will happen is that we will find that our lives actually become much easier to manage. How does that sound?
Yeah, I would say that for me, you just never give up, no matter what.
That's true, yeah. Because failure isn't really failure. Failure is just an opportunity.
Right.
So
it's true.
It is true.
How do we become strong? It's when we fail.
It's when we fail and we pick ourselves back up.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So I want us all to just challenge this tendency in our brains. What if we're doing this right and we're failing at times? And what if that's just part of the process? What if it's okay that the journey's a little bit messy? What if all that matters is that we don't give up?
And there it is.
There it is.
Just never give up.
So, all right, everyone, that's all for today. I'd like to wish each of you a very happy new year. It's my hope that each one of you will land in your healthy, vibrant body that you're proud of by the end of 2022, if not sooner. Make sure you join us in the membership to get all the help and support you need. Just head to JourneyBeyondWeightLoss.com to sign up, and we'll see you on the inside. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Hey, if you really want to lose weight and keep it off for good, your next step is to sign up for Dr. Angela's free weight loss course, where you're going to learn everything you need to get started on your weight loss journey the right way. Just head over to JourneyBeyondWeightLoss.com/free course to sign up. Also, it would be awesome if you could take a few moments and write a review on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you in Journey Beyond Weight Loss.